Now we're going to be looking at adjectives. What are adjectives, you may ask yourself? Well, adjectives are words used to describe nouns or pronouns. Adjectives are easy to spot because they come immediately before the nouns they modified. Examples of adjectives. That dog is big and active. Big and active are predicate adjectives because they come after the verb. Like I said, sometimes the adjectives can come after the verb. They become predicate adjectives because the dog is what? Big and active. Okay? Now, to look at adjectives before, the big and active dog is going to the park. This becomes regular adjectives because they come before the noun, which is a dog. See the difference? You see how the difference in positioning of the adjectives determines if it's regular adjectives or predicate adjectives. Degrees of comparison. Adjective comes in three forms: absolute, comparative, and superlative. We're going to look at absolute first. So absolute adjectives describe something in its own right. For example, a cool guy is coming to the house. The word cool modifies guy. The blue car is driving down the road. Blue is an adjective because it's modifying what? The car. What's the color of the car? Blue. The brown shell has a hole in it. It's supposed to be shoe, not shell. So the brown is modifying the noun, which is shoe. Now we're going to look at comparative adjectives. Unsurprisingly, makes a comparison between two or more things. Example, John is cooler than Jim. ER, which is comparative, suffix, comparing two things, two or more things. So John is cooler than Jim. We're comparing two names. The deck is messier than the roof. Now you're probably wondering how come this looks different from that. Well, because the word messy is M-E-S-S-Y. And anytime when you're comparing, you have to replace the letter Y with I and add ER. Okay? Superlative adjectives indicate that something has the highest degree of the quality in question. Talking about a whole lot. For example, John is the coolest than everyone else. Everyone else could be 3, 4, 5, could be 10 people. And then the most mischievous cat is crazy in all of the land. Sometimes, instead of saying mischievous, we use the word most. Okay. Coordinate adjectives should be separated by a comma or the word and. Adjectives are said to be coordinate if they modify the same noun in a sentence. For example, this is going to be a long, cold winter. Use a comma here. A long and cold. So for example, let's replace this comma with the word and. Let's replace this word with a comma with the word and. Replace the word comma with and we can say this is going to be a long and cold winter. If you can put comma where and should be, then we're good to go. Isobel's dedicated and tireless efforts made all the difference. You see, there it is. We use the word and. Or we can replace this word and put a comma. But just the fact that two adjectives appear next to each other doesn't automatically mean they are coordinate. Sometimes an adjective and a noun form a single semantic unit, which is then modified by another adjective. In this case, the adjectives are not coordinate and should not be separated by a comma. In some cases, it's pretty hard to decide whether two adjectives are coordinate or not. But there are a couple of ways you can test them. Try inserting the word and between the adjectives to see if the phrase still seems natural. There you go. If you can't, guess what? No comma. My cat, Goober, loves sleeping on this tattered woolen sweater. Okay? Now, for example, let's insert the word and, okay? See if it still sounds natural. My cat, Goober, loves sleeping on this tattered and woolen sweater. Does that seem natural? Nope, because woolen is woolen sweater. What type of a sweater is it? Woolen. Tattered is the adjective describing what? A woolen sweater. So, no comma. See here? In some cases, it's pretty hard to decide whether two objects are coordinate or not, but there are a couple. Try insert the word and between the adjectives to see if the phrase still seems natural. There it is, repeating it. In the first sentence, this tattered and woolen sweater doesn't sound right because you really aren't talking about a sweater, are you? That is both tattered and woolen. It's a woolen sweater that is tattered. So, woolen sweater is being modified by the word tatter, so no comma. Another example, no one could open the old silver locket. What type of locket is it? It's a silver locket. What's modifying the silver locket? Old. Another way to test for coordinate adjective is just try switching the order of the adjective and seeing if the phrase still works. In the second sentence, you want to say, no one could open the silver old locket. You can't reverse the order of the adjective because silver locket is a unit. It's modified by old. So sometimes let's swap. We can say, let's swap. We can say the old silver locket, no one could open the silver old locket. We can't really swap adjectives. So if you can't swap the adjectives, then no comma. And that concludes adjectives.